Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Looks like the mic's on. Hello, hello. I do hope you can hear me. I've decided to resurrect me talking to a screen. Woom. I think the chat is working. I'm going to do it on YouTube. I'm going to do it on this separate channel called Nigel Chats because I want to chat to people. Um, so there you go. That's what I'm doing. I don't know what this little arrow's for. I don't know what that little arrow's for. Okay. I'm going to share this on Facebook if I can. Bum, 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 bum. You have to do things whilst you're doing things. I like doing things whilst I'm doing things. My brain never stops. It seems to go to sleep. It seems to go dormant when I'm either meditating or sleeping, which is great meditation. Um, but my brain doesn't seem to stop chattering very much. I mean, I can get it to stop the monkey chatter, the external, but and none of our brains stop. I mean, gosh, saying I've got a virus. Don't believe I've got one. Anyway, yeah, your brain, the synapses, neurologically, your brain doesn't stop. 60 million electrical transmissions per second going on. Woo. What we have to do is recognize that our brain is not our mind. Our mind is ours. Um, so how we use what goes on in here, or more importantly, what goes on in here, how we learn to communicate, that is the mind. That's the projected version of all this inner um, stuff that we do as humans. So I'm learning how to communicate better. Um, I've been listening to a series on one of the sub channels because nearly all my friends have been banned from YouTube. But so I was listening to another channel, I think BitShoot or one of those others anyway. But a friend of mine, and it was really hard because the language difference. The man who made the film, I think his natural language, his first language is Portuguese or Spanish, but he was pretty good at making himself understood as he narrated this expose, which was rather good. But I realized that because I was drawn to the subject matter, that I would bother to try and listen closely to what he was saying, because obviously he'd done a lot of research. But the communication was only because I already had an interest in that, in the subject matter. So I bothered. But had he put it out in several languages, his own native language obviously would be good. Um, but he should get somebody else to narrate the English version of it, because it's such hard work to communicate sometimes. But again, I'm working on my own communication skills, and I'm trying hard to use some of the technology available. I probably made a noise with the mic then. Um, in public platforms. So YouTube is a good public platform. And I'm also trying to pass on the wisdom of my experience. It's hard to call it wisdom. Um, the reason it's hard to call it wisdom is because really, when we get all down to everything, it's all within and it's all individual. So, how to translate feelings is you just can't. So, it's hard to call it wisdom, but in a way, it's kind of experience. So, I've had 65 years of relentless uh, experience that has shown me many things, and of those many things, I've learned a few, and I maintain a few. Um, some I've had to unlearn, um, which people call it programming because when you watch a TV program, you're being programmed. So whatever. But the whole education system was not geared to help me a great deal. There were some good teachers along the way, but the education system in and of itself wasn't there to do anything more than give me the skills to work within a world that no longer exists. You see, and that's an endless thing. I mean, my children are qualified to do certain tasks in the education system that are either don't exist anymore or are shifting, and then the criteria for them to get a decent job means they need to specialize in a certain area. I mean, luckily, further education is a choice, and you can choose to educate yourself outside of the narrow parameters of most educational systems. But if you think of it as anything more than indoctrination, then you're missing the point. You're being taught to um, be a willing participant in a system that isn't really welcoming you. It's actually just conditioning you. So anyway, I don't want to get too high and mighty about any of that, because you still got to go out there and keyword interact with others, and that's important. So how you interact and how you communicate can be language based. I'm English, and I don't speak many languages. I can understand a little bits of some languages, but I'm not uh, multilingual, unless of course you count Canadian. I can speak a bit of Canadian, Australian. I can speak a bit of New Zealand. I can speak American. I can speak English. So, but it's not just communication through language; it's communication through being. This is something that I want to try and help people with, is the way in which your being is part of your communication process. So suppose, for instance, that you wanted to convey a feeling of love or peace, then you must become love and peace. And that's the way in which you can convey it without words. So, and you can only achieve love or peace through kindness. You can't. I'm sorry, I keep looking away. There's a window behind me, and there's traffic things happening over there. So I'm trying to do multitasking, watching other things whilst. Okay, get back to my point. Is you can only achieve the love and peace you want to see in this world, and I'm talking about unconditional love. I'm not talking about the other loves. There are many loves. um, but I'm talking about love and peace as a general basis for how you have your life set up and the world set up or society set up. So the only way you can achieve love or peace is through kindness. You cannot achieve it through um, anger or empty rhetoric. It has to be, you have to be out in the world using kindness to achieve the aim of love and peace. And that's evident in my life a lot. I mean, it's evident in my life a lot. The more I go out into the world and I'm kinder, the the natural response of a person who's being shown kindness is to show it back. And it's just a natural response. In some, it produces a knee-jerk reaction of like, what does this guy want? But that's just people living in fear. I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm trying to give you things. So anyway, this is my first 2022. That's hard, isn't it? 2022? 2022. This is my first transmission from my humble abode, and I'm very happy today because I've decided that creating a better world through being is probably the most essential thing I can do right now. We've been through a lot of changes over the last couple of years, so embracing those changes as an awakening and realizing that we can create, I mean, truly create a better world, um, has been a very short, sharp shock for some people. Short, sharp shock. Um, but for many who've been exploring what's labeled as conspiracy theories, but for many that have done the research, we were aware of the push towards either true freedom or true tyranny, and the tyrannical has shown us over the 2 years that it's pretty serious about it. So we have to be very serious about our freedom, and our freedom is what essentially makes us human. um, Free will, and I believe that we have to make some serious choices on the side of the good and the great and the better, and we have to individually take responsibility to progress humanity through our interactions with others. Uh, so it's very important, but we mustn't get complacent either. We think that a small battle has been won, and then we just relax ourselves into some sort of non-involved in societal changes position, and you have to be involved in societal changes, otherwise society doesn't change. So you have to be involved. Now, keep your involvement in a place of kindness and help others understand that we can create a better world by being kind and loving, but never relax your awareness of what's actually going on within the structure of society. I think culture is being used as a weapon. I mean, it's being used as a weapon in many countries, in many situations, but globally, I believe that we're having our culture turn itself upon upon its people, and we have to reclaim our cultural identity as human beings by saying we want a world where unconditional love is the basis of all of society, and we will help others. And this is a true basis of a caring society, which we've been witnessing the opposite from people in power who have the opportunity to help others, they end up helping themselves, both financially and with empowerment through dictatorial means. We don't need dictators, you know. We just don't. We never have. We often rejected them, and yet here we are acquiescing to them. So we mustn't do that. We must take control of our own lives and reclaim our freedoms in the name of love and peace, and that's important. Okay, I've ranted, and I knew I would. That's my top chat. That's my first chat for 2022. It's February the 2nd. Oh, it's 222022. Tutu. And I'm wearing a tutu. No, I'm not. Okay. Thank you. Love you. And this is Nigel Chats. If anybody wants to chat, the chat is on. Okay. I don't know. I mean, the most important thing is if I can communicate through being the idea that we can rebuild society's ideology on kindness, love, and peace and understanding. That's more important. Anyway, gosh, technology. I could keep going, couldn't I? Love you all. I'm going to do more of these, I think. It's kind of like a video blog. It's on a separate channel from my music. My music's at Tunnel Mental. But I'm going to do this on this separate channel called Nigel Chats. All right.